The professional women's road cycling scene in South Africa is a tough place to earn a living. Teams have come and gone over the last couple of decades, and only a few riders have managed to make it onto the European racing scene. One team that has consistently managed to provide a platform for women to race in a semi-professional environment for many years now is Team Cycle Nation, and the man behind the team is Lincoln King. And it is in 2025 that the new look Enza Cycle Nation team was formed.
I noticed that women's cycling was slowly grinding to a halt. So I said, well, what are we going to do when this stops? Well, let's try and give women the full experience where we might not be able to pay salaries, but we're going to continue to allow them to experience paid racing, the accommodation paid, travel paid, all costs. But we couldn't quite meet or raise the money to pay salaries. What we didn't know was this was the blueprint for the future. This is where men's cycling was going. They didn't know it. It was just going to happen at a slower rate. 2025, here we are. We needed to bring the average age of the team down, and we needed to give opportunities to new people. So Lisa Bone, whilst she now is probably the most senior rider in the team, she's only been racing for 2 years, 2 and a bit. Which, if you compare that to a Carla, Cherise was a national champion at 18 or 19. Mind-blowing. In 2008 of that year, she was gone to Beijing. We want to give young women the opportunity to experience an almost professional environment whilst we are still wholly amateur. I mean, they're students or they have jobs. So in the lineup for 2025, Lisa remains after her apprenticeship with Cherise, Carla and Joanna.
I'm a qualified physiotherapist. I work at the NHC in Honeydew for sports physios. I really love it there. So basically my day is, if I had to break it down, we wake up in the morning before work and we go and ride. I often ride with the engine. I live literally maybe 150 meters from the engine, so I can leave my house basically as they leave the engine and then we meet together. Then I do my little loop or my training ride, get home and usually make something to eat and then make my way to work. And then I work the whole day and basically make dinner and get to bed as soon as possible so I can do the same thing again.
We've got 2 new faces from Customized Cycling, Melissa Kretzinger and Carmen Lockmeyer.
The main 2 teams were Cycle Nation and Customized, and more recently Shinolo has put together a women's team, which is great. I think it's changed up the dynamic quite a bit. Being on Customized last year, it was always, what is Cycle Nation going to do? And now that I'm on Cycle Nation, it's like, okay, what are we going to do to customize? But now that Shinolo is there, it adds like a good dynamic because it's not just the 2 teams anymore, and not like Lisa and Lucy chasing one another. Now we have Sonika as well and Tanya. I think it's getting more competitive. I know it seems like it's dying, but it also seems like it's got a little bit more fire in the actually recent weeks. So it's looking really positive. Melissa
is really the level-headed one. She isn't here today. She's the rational thinker, she doesn't just leap into action. Not everybody's impulsive, but you've got to have somebody who says, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read or try and read the race. Tennille Otto also isn't here. She's in Cape Town, but she'd spent time with us in the past, before, and then went and raced a bit in Europe and what have you, and returned this year. After Tennille, there's young Caitlin Mee. Caitlin just turned 20.
My dad has been cycling for my whole life, at least. 2022, he said, okay, let's go on a ride. Mountain bikes at Northern Farms, 20 Ks. Yeah. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And man, it was really hard, but there was just something that changed and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the feeling of that I had worked hard and just the high that I got afterwards. And from then on, I just kept training consistently. I got better and I just cycle for the love of it now.
There's Lexi Claassen. Lexi comes from a triathlon background and is a multi-sport athlete and rides a bit on the road. But Lexi is really a dedicated team player. She knows her job and how she performs and how she carries that out for the team.
Definitely the worker bee. I'm definitely better at getting a number and sticking to a number as opposed to all the surging. So when I get a chance, I prefer to go up front and stick to my own numbers. And then when I'm dead and the team can do the rest. And
then we've got Refilwe Mogorosi. Refilwe is a mountain biker, yes. Refilwe is a 4-time Absa Cape Epic finisher, which is mind-blowing.
I'm a mountain biker. I've been riding mountain bike for about 5 years, 6 years. Actually, that's my main sport. And joining the road team, I did my first race yesterday with the team. And I think road is quite cool. Speed, I think if I can do more road races, I would be good with my speed as well with the mountain bike.
We gave her first full-blown road racing experience, gave her an idea of how road cycling teams work. Because we sat and we were discussing the race the night before, previewing the route, discussing scenarios of what happens at this point if we are all together, if there's a break, if you are off the back, what must you do, what should you do, things like that. The other thing about Refilwe that's important is a lot of people look and say, well, how did you get into that team? It's important for us to provide opportunities so that youngsters can see that it's possible.
Yeah, it's amazing because I feel women's cycling needs quite a lot of people to support, and it needs people to recognize that we also are talented and we also put in the work. We also want to compete against whatever opportunity cycling can give. So being part of Enza is quite nice to be supported by them. And also for me as a black female, it's quite good to be supported, to have that support system. It's quite amazing.
Refilwe is what we call hope to a generation. And she's inspiring others, younger than her, because that's really where we want to get people interested in the sport, not when they're 25, 26, 27. Youngsters need role models, and there are people looking at her and saying, I can be that. And that's critically important, and I'm so glad that Enza Construction shares that vision with us.
The local road racing scene has been given a much-needed boost with the introduction of the Imzanzi series, which offers points and prize money for the top riders at the end of the series that include races around the country.
I'm quite new on the scene, and the Imzanzi series is also it's a new thing. It's obviously just started this year, which is really, really exciting. Going from the last 2 years of not having the series to this year, it's definitely brought a lot of excitement and a lot of energy towards ladies cycling. I think that a lot more girls are coming to races because of the series happening. Specifically to Limpopo, there was a girl came all the way from PE because of the series, so she can keep her position in the series, which is also amazing. And it's bringing a lot of competition as well, so everyone's making sure that they show up to races so that they can still get some points put on the sheet. It is exciting. I think that by bringing the series in, a lot of races are getting a lot more attendance, and there's obviously sponsorships that have come into play with regards to prize money. Having people behind us and backing us makes you feel empowered to keep working as hard as you work. Because obviously we all wake up every morning as much as the men do. We all train as hard as the men do. But to have sponsors that back us like that is really, really cool.
Cycling, we've just come through the COVID era and events were you know, falling over left, right, and center. So for road cycling, this is a much needed revival of the racing culture.
As a team, we are definitely trying to see if we can win the Imzanzi series at the end of the year. Obviously, there's still a long way to go. We're only halfway through the year, but as long as we can keep getting as many girls to the races as possible, ticking the boxes, and getting in those wins, hopefully it's achievable. Yeah.
So what are the benefits for the young riders in a semi-pro setup like Enza Cycle Nation with Lincoln King as the boss?
Nutrition, that's a big expense, and all the travel around all these races. I mean, we usually race quite far away, so Lincoln organizes everything for us. It's all the silly things like your race number and remembering bottles and having people to feed you and having spare wheels in the car. And so to go and do it one man, it's really hard, and I learned with riding for Lincoln that it's a huge help.
One of the best things is the peace of mind of having that backup of Lincoln is always in the car behind you if you need absolutely anything, from gels to bottles or even just some words of encouragement. He's always there. If you puncture, he's got your spare wheel. I've seen it myself being injured and in a race in the car with Lincoln, and someone who doesn't have a team behind them gets a puncture and they're just stuck on the side of the road, or Lincoln or another team car has to stop and help them. So it really does give you that like peace of mind and just that like feeling of belonging, having someone behind you and knowing that they're backing you all the way.
Yeah, to advocate for women's cycling, it's very important. I think it's become a matter close to my heart, something I want to do. And because I have a platform, it's important to use that platform for the right things. So yes, we'll continue to use the platform we've built over 15 years, use our agency to try and direct resources into developing young talent, or it doesn't necessarily have to be young talent, just providing opportunities for people to carry on cycling.